All right, San Antonio Spurs beat the OKC Thunder 111 to 103 in game 7, and it feels so good, baby. Devin Vassell just gets the disrespectful two-handed dunk at the end of the game, and it was completely necessary. That dunk was for the entire NBA. I'm a Spurs fan, of course. I've heard just all sorts of NBA fans celebrating the Spurs win. Everyone's happy to see the floppers go home. Um, as a Spurs fan, Manu Ginobili would flop all the time. I never denied that Ginobili was a flopper. I still love him. I just say, check out these 5 rings, bro. So that's what'll frustrate me about certain OKC fans. Another thing that annoys me is when people say OKC fans this, Spurs fans that, Lakers fans this. Like all the fans are one supercell organism and they all think exactly the same. I haven't met an OKC fan that will admit SGA is a flopper, but I'm sure they're out there, dude. I'm sure there's people that watch the video evidence just like I would watch video evidence of Ginobili and just say, this guy's a flopper, and he's also one of the best offensive players we've ever seen. Both things are true. But Spurs win again, 111 to 103. It's a little lead chart for the game. The Spurs' biggest lead was 14. OKC's biggest lead was 4 points. There was only 4 lead changes. The game was only tied twice, but it was a really back and forth game. OKC was always within striking distance. SGA has the amazing second quarter. He goes 6 for 7 in the second quarter, and that's what'll annoy me, dude. You see SGA, he's just going off in the second quarter. He might have fell down on 1 or 2 jumpers, but SGA wasn't out there trying to exaggerate contact too much in this game. And that's what annoy me, dude. SGA is too good of a player. He doesn't need to do the flopping. He can average 26 to 32 points probably on 50% shooting without flopping. So that's what'll annoy me. He doesn't have to do it. Again, second quarter, he goes 6 for 7. OKC manages to get the lead. They got up 4 points. I want to say it was a Lou Dort 3 that actually put them up at that point. But again, SGA 6 for 7. He's just making tough jumper after tough jumper after tough jumper. And it was just beautiful. It's amazing to see. His footwork is just insane. He gets to his little shoulder bump move. He hit a fadeaway. It was over Castle and Wemby. He's on the left side of the court and just hits a nasty fadeaway in the corner over both of them. So SGA played awesome. He goes out guns blazing like you should out there, and he did everything he could do to help his team win the game. He finishes with 35 points. Wemby finishes with the 22 points. There's Chet Holmgren. He finishes with the 2 blocks. We led his team in blocks. I'm going to do a whole separate video about the player stats, but Chet Holmgren is just terrified of Victor Wembanyama, and he just completely shrunk in the moment. If if the second best player on your team, Chet Holmgren's not the second best player on OKC, he's the third best player. You might even say he's the fourth best player at this point. People can argue that AJ Mitchell is better than Holmgren at this point. Alex Caruso is not better than Chet, but people will say that right now. Just with recency bias for this series, and Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, AJ Mitchell when he was healthy, all 3 of those guys had a bigger impact than Chet Holmgren in this series. I can't live with my third best player only giving me 4 points in a game 7. I just can't live with that. But I really can't live with you only taking 2 shots. Chet Holmgren hits a beautiful little fadeaway on the baseline. He's on the right side of the court. It's probably the first 2 minutes of the game. Hits a beautiful fadeaway. I want to say it's over Devin Vassell. All right, San Antonio has a nice ball handle, has a nice little fadeaway, and he gets that little baseline shot. It's beautiful. He just wets it. Beautiful stroke, and he just says, "All right, boys, I'm good. Y'all have got it from here." Then he only takes one more shot for the rest of the entire game. I want to say Chet finished with 4 points and 4 rebounds. And again, I can't live with my third best player giving me 4 points in a game 7, but I really can't live with you only taking 2 shots. I need you to take 10 or 15 shots as my third best player. If you go 1 for 15, I can't live with that either, but it's better than you going 1 for 2. Um, Chet Holmgren just shrinks when he sees Victor Wembanyama. And even just throw away the Wemby point. There were so many times when Chet Holmgren's matched up against Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, even De'Aaron Fox at times, Devin Vassell, and he just not being aggressive. He's not attacking those guys. He can shoot his little fadeaway over Vassell, Castle, Harper pretty much all day. He can definitely shoot it over De'Aaron Fox all day. And there was times when he get mismatched, especially De'Aaron Fox. Again, I'm a Spurs fan, but if I was a Thunder fan and I see De'Aaron Fox guarding Chet Holmgren, I'm thinking get the ball to Chet, try to get him down low, at least get him in the mid post so he can shoot a fadeaway over De'Aaron Fox. But the man only takes 2 shots the entire game, and I just can't live with that if I was an OKC fan. I don't think Thunder fans are saying we need to trade Chet. I've heard people talking about it, but I mean, they're missing AJ Mitchell. They're missing J Dub. They take us to 7 games. They could have won game 7 if AJ Mitchell and J Dub are healthy. I'm still picking the Spurs. Of course, I'm going to pick the Spurs as a Spurs fan. But if those guys are healthy, of course, OKC can definitely win the series. J Dub dropped 40 points in the finals just last year. J Dub's an awesome playoff player. He doesn't shrink down in the moment, doesn't shrink down in big moments like Chet Holmgren did. Again, the 2 shots is just horrible. I heard people talking about Chet Holmgren in the finals last year, how he was good in the finals. He had a couple of good games, but he had 3 games in the finals last year where he scored less than 10 points. So that's really bad as well. Spurs fans, they love to make De'Aaron Fox the scapegoat when we lose games, mainly because De'Aaron Fox is getting paid max contract money. Chet Holmgren's on a 5-year, $240 million contract. And again, if I'm paying you all that money, I can't have you only take 2 shots in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Chet Holmgren, since his rookie year, his ball handles got better, his 3-point shots got better, his mid range has got better. He's gotten better at pretty much everything in his game. To be honest, he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. People make it the Wemby Chet Holmgren matchup. Just throw that out the window. It's not a rivalry. Chet Holmgren was on, I want to say it was Paul George's podcast. They're talking about him and Wemby and the rivalry, and Chet Holmgren just says, "Oh, what rivalry? It's not a rivalry. We're just out there playing against each other. We're competing and playing basketball." He says something like, "Oh, I barely even know the guy." But Wemby does not like you, Chet, and he makes it obvious. He doesn't hide it. He doesn't like you. He goes at your throat every single game. And if I was a Thunder fan, I want Chet just to come out and say, "I don't like Wemby either. It is a rivalry, if you want to call it that. Wemby's in just a whole nother stratosphere. They're not even in the same sentence as players, to be honest." But Chet just wilted away and just didn't even try to get shots up in this game. And it's just so disappointing. I think he had a really bad series. He might have had one good game this whole series, to be honest. And I think he rightfully should be the scapegoat. If I'm an OKC fan, I'm putting a lot of this on Chet. Again, we're missing J Dub, we're missing AJ Mitchell, but the Thunder all season long, their thing has been depth. If we're missing this guy, we'll be okay. They're missing J Dub for most of the season, and they still win all these games. They start off 24-1 without J Dub, and OKC's their thing is always their depth, and Chet's their third best player, and it was just really, really disappointing performance for Chet Holmgren in Game 7 and just for the whole series. But Spurs win 111 to 103. Spurs have the 48 rebounds. OKC has 38, so that's basically a wash. 21 assists for the Spurs, 23 for OKC, so that's basically a wash as well. Both teams have the 9 steals out there. Caruso had an off game shooting wise. I'm going to make a separate video with all the player stats, but speaking of steals, I want to say Caruso had maybe 2 or 3 steals just off the top of my head, but him and Case and Wallace, they've been awesome all series long. They're demons on defense, but in this game, it didn't feel like they made a giant defensive impact like they had been making, especially game 1 through 4. They were just really giving Stephon Castle a lot of trouble. But this game, I didn't feel their impact out there on the perimeter. Spurs have 2 blocks. OKC has 5. I know Chet Holmgren had at least 2 of those blocks. Dylan Harper tries to go up and dunk on him, and Chet Holmgren blocked the shit out of him on those 2 dunk attempts. If you try to go straight at Chet Holmgren and try to dunk on him, he's probably going to block your shot. Unless you're Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama just destroyed him probably the first 2 minutes of the game. Wemby gets a give and go. It's just one-on-one. Chet Holmgren's right there. It wasn't like Chet tried to turn around and try to block him last second. Wemby's coming down the lane. Chet Holmgren's right there. They both see each other. Chet Holmgren tries to go up for the block, and Wemby just destroys him with a two-handed dunk. Wemby stole Chet's soul probably 2 years ago. He already stole Chet's soul, and he just destroyed him on that two-handed dunk. Chet Holmgren had already made that little baseline jumper before he got dunked on, but Chet just wilts when he sees Wemby, dude. Wemby dunked on him and just stole his soul again. And like I was saying before, it's not so much the Wemby Chet Holmgren matchup. It's just that Julian Champagnie, Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, they were going at Chet all series long, just bumping him, attacking him in the paint, and they weren't scared of Chet as a rim protector. Again, he does have the 2 blocks in this game, but you've seen since Wemby was a rookie up until now, Wemby's put on at least 30 pounds. Wemby's probably 240 pounds now. And you see Chet from when he was a rookie until now, he maybe put on 10 or 15 pounds, but you see how Wemby's frame is filled out. And that's one thing Chet could control. He can get in the weight room, and I really think he needs to. You've seen how Wemby struggled with physicality as a rookie. Kind of in his second year, physicality can still bother him from time to time, but with all the weight Wemby's put on, you see how much better he deals with physicality. We've been saying it since Chet was a rookie. He really needs to get in the weight room over this offseason because he just struggles so bad with physicality. He'll get the mismatches, like I was saying. He had De'Aaron Fox on him a couple of times in this series and just wasn't taking advantage of that mismatch. I get it. If Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Champagnie's guarding you, you should take advantage of those mismatches. Being 7-2 and being as skilled as Holmgren is, because he's a really good player. He's not a bad player. I'm not saying that at all. He made All NBA, one of the best defenders in the NBA. Just doesn't have that mindset to deal with the physicality the Spurs threw at him. And again, forget the Chet Wemby matchup. He's not going to produce like Wemby. He's not going to outplay Wemby. Probably never in a playoff game in his whole life, to be honest. I don't know if that's harsh, but I think that's totally fair to say. But again, forget the Wemby Chet matchup. He's just not attacking San Antonio's guards when he's getting those mismatches. And at the other side of the court, there was multiple times when Champagnie would pump fake, attack a closeout, put his shoulder right into Chet Holmgren's chest, bump him off, not allow Chet to rise up for the block and get easy layups. Harper, Castle, especially Champagnie. Champagnie doesn't drive. He doesn't get into the paint and attack the paint. And for Champagnie to be attacking you like that, you just need to get in the weight room, dude. People would do that to Wemby a lot when he was a rookie his second year. People can still do that to Wemby when you bump him off. That's the best way to attack him. Bump him off. Try to get a quick layup before he can recover. But it's not nearly as effective as it was when Wemby was a rookie, when he was a sophomore. He's filled out his frame so much, and I just haven't seen Chet Holmgren fill out his frame very much. He just needs to get in the weight room, dude. He needs to be able to take advantage of those mismatches. Spurs have 12 turnovers. OKC has 13. Both teams did an amazing job taking care of the ball. Both teams shoot about 45% from three, so that's about a wash. Spurs are 42% from three. OKC's 34%. And that was about the story of the game. Both teams are trying to do the exact same thing. They're trying to speed you up. They're trying to cause turnovers and get out on the fast break for fast break points. SGA goes out guns blazing. He had an amazing performance, just making all these tough shots. But again, they're down J-Dub, they're down AJ Mitchell. I don't want to hear Thunder fans using the injury excuse. I've heard a lot of Thunder fans using that excuse, but y'all went through an injured Denver Nuggets last season. Y'all went through an injured Indiana Pacers team. At least Game 7, Tyrese Halliburton popped his Achilles. Maybe OKC still wins the game even if Halliburton's healthy. I'm not going to say the Pacers are just automatically going to win the game, but OKC can't be using the injury excuse, can't be, asking for sympathy from other fan bases because their team was injured. When they won the championship last year, I wasn't hearing OKC fans even acknowledging the injured teams they went through. So that's kind of what it comes down to in the playoffs. Usually the healthier team's going to win, and the Spurs were the healthier team and just the better team, in my opinion. Again, if J Dub and AJ Mitchell are out there healthy, OKC has a much better chance to win the series. I wouldn't have been surprised if they beat the Spurs in 6 or 7 games. Even saying that as a Spurs fan, I was worried about our experience in the playoffs. Playoff experience is a real thing, and just SGA missing his two secondary playmakers, combined with Chet Holmgren just shrinking and just not showing up at all in this game, taking 2 shots the entire game. Again, it's just inexcusable. You know that you're down 2 of your top 5 players, and you just need your third best player to step up and at least try to take some shots out there, dude. But yeah, the 3-point battle, that was honestly kind of the story of the game. The Spurs were so hot and just knocked down so many 3 balls out there. Um, Combined with SGA missing his 2 backup ball handlers. But again, OKC's depth has been their biggest strength all season long. And Chet Holmgren's the scapegoat, dude. He just doesn't step up. There's just no way to get around it, in my opinion. People again talking about trade Chet, trade Chet. I don't think OKC's fan base is quite there. There's probably a couple people saying it. But in my opinion, if I'm an OKC fan, just run it back. Come back again next season. Come back with a healthy J Dub, a healthy AJ Mitchell. And I don't think OKC's team was in trouble or anything like that. I think the injury bug just bit them, and we'll see what happens. Isaiah Hartenstein has the player option. They're gonna need to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein or replace him with another physical power forward because Chet Holmgren, he needs a physical power forward to play next to him. And even with the physical power forward, that man still needs to hit the weight room, dude. 34 points in the paint for the sport. 34 points in the paint for the Spurs, 32 for OKC. So that's basically a wash. 17 second chance points for the Spurs. OKC has 20. Dylan Harper has the huge putback layup. Probably 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. So that was a gigantic putback for 2 of those second chance points. Spurs have 19 fast break points. OKC has 7. Again, that was pretty much the story of the game. Spurs win the fast break points battle. They crush OKC in fast break points, and we crush them from behind the arc. And that was kind of the story of the game. Again, both teams are trying to turn the other team over, get out in the fast break, and just win the fast break points battle. The Spurs win the fast break points battle. They win the 3-point battle, and pretty much all series long, whichever team can win the fast break points and the 3-point shooting battle has generally won the games so far in this series. So far, just the entire series. The series is over. I have another question. If you guys know, if the other team makes a basket, the Spurs were doing this all game long. OKC would make a basket. We just get an inbounds pass really fast, push it up on the break. There was one play in the first quarter. OKC makes a basket. Stephon Castle pushes up on the break, swings it over to Julian Champagnie, and he knocks down a wide open 3 on the left wing. I'm not sure if those count as fast break points or not if it's coming off of a made basket, but I think those still count as fast break points. So the Spurs did an awesome job just off of made baskets, just pushing it out on the fast break off of made baskets. OKC was trying to do the same thing as well, but the Spurs just had they had 7 players scoring double digits, and they just beat OKC just as a team. Just the Spurs whole team just really won this game as a team, and that's how you would expect OKC to win the game, with their depth. But the Spurs just won the game with their depth. Didn't have an insane performance by Wembanyama. Really no player except Champagnie. He was 6 for 10 from 3. Probably the best player on the court other than Wemby, and it was just a lot of role players and a lot of other guys on the Spurs. Again, 7 guys score in double figures, and it was just a real team win for the San Antonio Spurs. But please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 7 million subscribers. Let me know what you thought about the game. Let me know what you think about the Thunder and the Spurs team moving forward. Again, I'm a Spurs fan, but if I was a Thunder fan, I'm not freaking out. I'm probably just trying to run it back and get J-Dub and AJ Mitchell back out there healthy. And I probably feel good about our chances next year if I was an OKC fan. But like the video, hate the video, tell your friends, do something to it, and we'll see y'all next time.